He pushed Victor's sword back and tried to press him down. The knight gathered his strength and pushed our boy's sword away. He moved close to Ghislain to strike him down. Before he could swing his sword, our boy raised his leg and used it to stop Victor's hand. He stepped on his sword and used it to push himself up. He gave the knight a heavy kick to the face. Victor spat out a large amount of blood and lost his balance. Our boy quickly attacked him with this opportunity. However, Victor was able to block his attack. He gathered his strength and pushed Ghislain's sword down. He pushed our boy back. Our boy was able to safely land and regain his balance. He noticed that Victor's attack left a scratch on his armor. The knight smiled when he saw what he did. He raised his sword again and charged at Ghislain. Our boy blocked his attack and swung his sword at him. Victor blocked the attack with his sword. He quickly turned around and used his cape to block Ghislain's vision. He swung his sword at our boy from his blind spot. Our boy was able to dodge the attack by jumping above the knight and his sword. Before he could land on the ground, Victor swung his sword at him. Ghislain was able to turn and use his sword to block the attack while in the air. He landed on the ground and charged at the knight. Victor was able to block his attack. He pushed our boy back and swung his sword at him. Our boy was able to easily block the attacks. He and Victor swung their swords at each other at the same time and locked their swords together. They pressed their swords against each other. They were trying to suppress themselves. They both grit their teeth as they glared at each other. Victor managed to take control and push Ghislain's sword down. He quickly dragged his sword up and swung it at Ghislain's head. Before his sword could reach our boy, he pulled his sword from the ground and used it to block the attack. Ghislain grabbed Victor's breastplate and used it to drag him. He kicked his leg and made him lose balance. He then threw the man with all his might. Our boy didn't give Victor the chance to rest. He took out his sword and charged at him. Victor quickly rolled on the ground to dodge Ghislain's attack. He moved back and dragged his sword on the ground. He used his sword to throw some sand at Ghislain. Our boy was able to see the attack, so he used his hand to cover his face. Victor used this opportunity to thrust his sword at him. When Ghislain saw the man's sword coming towards him, he was forced to acknowledge the fact that Victor is a powerful knight. Even though our boy's power is amplified by the third core, there was still no real difference between them. In his past life, Ghislain started a war and attacked Count Desmond. Victor was also the one who stood in his way at that time. Our boy was able to defeat him after their swords clashed dozens of times. Unfortunately, he ended up wasting too much time on Victor. He lost Perdium because of this. Ghislain understood that Perdium's downfall was inevitable since men like Victor were determined to destroy it. On that day, Ghislain made up his mind. He told himself that he will deliver nothing but death to those who pose a threat to him and his family. The scene shifts, and we are taken back to the present. We see Ghislain raise his sword and cover it with his mana. He also thrust his sword at Victor. Our boy stabbed the man in his stomach. A large amount of blood poured out of Victor's body. His blood splashed on the sand. Ghislain was able to block Victor's sword by pushing it in between his arm. The knight called out to Count Desmond. Our boy took out his sword and let Victor fall to the ground. Victor looked around to see the fire that burnt everything around them. Our boy glared at him. He could tell that this man was done. He turned around and decided to leave. Before he could take a step forward, Victor called out to him. He told him that he has one thing to ask him. He asked Ghislain to tell him who he is. He said that the Ghislain he knows is just a loser in Perdium. He is the trash of the North. Victor smiled when he said this. He realized that this was stupid. Our boy's identity didn't matter anymore. Victor told Ghislain Perdium that he enjoyed their fight. After saying this, he passed away. Our boy turned around and walked away from the man. In the next scene, we see Ghislain supporting Gillian's arm. He held the man's hand and assisted him in walking forward. When our boy raised his head up, he saw his father and the soldiers waiting for them. Everyone was breathing heavily. When our boy turned to the side, he saw Belinda and his mercenaries waiting for him. Ghislain smiled. He asked his soldiers if everyone is still alive. Belinda and his mercenaries quickly ran to him. The mercenaries spoke about how this was their first time experiencing a war like this in their entire careers. One of them asked Ghislain about the magic that was used. Another person told him that he had goosebumps all over his body. Ghislain thanked the mercenaries for following him. He told them that they did a great job. While holding his shoulder, Kair referred to Gillian as Gramps and asked him if he really needs someone to carry him just because he got stabbed. Gillian said that it is nothing. Belinda asked him to stop spouting nonsense. She asked the man to let her see his wound. Ghislain asked Belinda about where Vanessa is. The woman revealed to him that Vanessa passed out because she used all her energy. She said that Fergus moved Vanessa and the other mages inside the castle. While Belinda was talking, someone called out to our boy. When Ghislain turned around, Randolph hugged him tightly. He told him that he is proud of him. He told our boy that he is truly the successor of Perdium. Ghislain told the knight captain that he also did a wonderful job. He turned to the side and told his father that he also did well. As Walter could only look at his son, he looked worried. He moved close to Ghislain and gave him a hug. He told his son that he did an amazing job. Ghislain was shocked to hear this. Walter told his son that he thought his plan was impossible when he first heard it. He never expected that Ghislain would actually be successful. Ghislain told his father that he was only able to carry out his plan because he fended off the enemies from the castle wall. The count smiled and told our boy that he is wrong. He said that he did everything by himself. He raised his son's hand and screamed that they were victorious. He announced that Perdium had won the war. The men joined the count in screaming. They were all excited. The mercenaries also joined them in screaming. Ghislain was shaken by the sound of their voices. He smiled and told himself that this is what he came back for. Our boy suddenly clenched his fist. He remembered Duke Delphine. He told himself that the war isn't over yet. Randolph told his master that he is going to check on the state of their soldiers. He asked the count about what he will do. Walter advised his son to check on his soldiers too. He asked Ghislain to rest for now because there will be much to do later. Our boy declined his father's request. Walter did not expect this. Ghislain told his father that they don't have time to waste. He explained to him that they need to secure a formal surrender from Count de Garde as quickly as possible. Walter asked him not to worry about it. He said that he will head out tomorrow. Ghislain told him that it will be too late by that time. He said that he is going to head to the de Garde territory with his mercenaries immediately. He told his father that he needs him to grant him the authority of a lord's deputy. Randolph was surprised to hear this. Walter asked his son if there is a need to be so hasty when he and his mercenaries are exhausted. With a serious look on his face, Ghislain told his father that the war isn't over yet. The count was surprised to hear this. Our boy explained to him that Count de Garde broke their alliance and declared war on them to seize their territory. He told Walter that they can't afford to give the count time to think. If they let this slide, he will strike them again. Our boy told his father that they must strike immediately, use their advantage and demand reparations on their own terms so that he will never challenge them again. Walter could not believe what he was hearing. It was natural for a person to be basking in victory, even if it is for a moment, and yet his son was already planning their next move. Walter told his son that they must push forward to take the chance to end things decisively. He granted Ghislain his permission. Our boy thanked him. Before our boy left, Walter reminded him that Count de Garde was once their ally, and he is a noble who has sworn his loyalty to the royal family. He asked Ghislain to do his best to treat the count with as much courtesy as the situation allows. Our boy smiled and asked his father not to worry about this. Ghislain turned to Kair and Belinda. He asked them if they can still move. Kair said that he is fine. Ghislain got on his horse. He asked his men to follow him. He told them that they are heading to the de Garde territory at full speed. The scene shifts, and we are taken to Castle de Garde. We see Thamos throwing things around. The count could not believe that they failed. He only accepted this secret treaty because everyone knows how powerful Desmond is. Thamos couldn't believe that the powerful Desmond lost to the scrubby Perdium territory. The man in front of the count asked him to calm down. Thamos asked the man known as Lowell to shut up. He asked him if this looks like a situation where he can be calm. He asked the man to stop standing around and prepare for surrender negotiations. He asked Lowell to tell the bureaucrats to prepare for reparations. Lowell asked the count if he is serious. Thamos said that Walter is an idiot known for respecting customs and honor. He was certain that Walter would accept the negotiation. The count knew that Perdium is desperate for money at the moment. He believed that he could overcome this if he offers them reparations. He planned to make Count Desmond take responsibility for what happened after he is done with the negotiation. Lowell reminded his master that they poured all their finances into the war. He asked the count about where they can get money for reparations. Thamos grabbed his neck and began to choke him. He called him an idiot. He asked him about how he was able to work in his castle with his brain. He asked Lowell to squeeze the money out of the citizens. With a scary look on his face, Thamos asked the man if he feels guilty about doing this because he is also a peasant. He asked him if the animals are more important than him. While struggling to speak, Lowell told the count that the peasants are not more important than him. Thamos threw him to the ground and asked him to know his master. He ordered the man to get moving. Lowell spat out some blood. He glared at the count. He was tired of his tyranny. He was forced into administering this territory. Lowell was well aware that the people couldn't take more of the count's tyranny. He knew that they might revolt soon. Before he could get up, a soldier ran into the room. He told the count that there is trouble. He revealed to him that the soldiers from Perdium have already arrived. In the next scene, we see the mercenaries lined up in the count's office. Thamos sat on his chair waiting for Walter. Lowell was behind him. Thamos couldn't believe that the soldiers got here so quickly. He told himself that he won't let anything go as Walter wants. The moment he said this, someone stepped into the room. It was Ghislain. Belinda and Kair were with him. Our boy asked Tamos if he is prepared for the surrender negotiation. Tamos was shocked to see Ghislain. He asked our boy about where his brother is. Ghislain told him that his father is quite busy focusing on the recovery of their territory. He told him that he is the Lord's deputy and he has been put in charge of this negotiation. With a serious look on his face, Ghislain asked his men to bring Tamos to his knees. A few hours earlier, we see Ghislain and his mercenaries riding their horses towards the Dagard territory. Kair said that Count Dagard is quite fast when it comes to running away. He couldn't believe that the Count abandoned his soldiers and ran back to his territory so quickly. Gordon apologized to Kair for letting the Count slip away. Kair smiled and told the man that Gillian is the one at fault. He told him that he and the other men did their jobs well. Upon hearing how Kair spoke about Gillian, Ghislain wondered if he should grant Kair the chance to fight against Gillian one day. Kair moved close to our boy and asked him if he plans on sparing Count Dagard by asking for a surrender negotiation. He asked Ghislain to tell him why he will do this. Our boy explained to him that everyone knows that Count Dagard is a shameless bastard who tried to take over Perdium. His external pretext is the vengeance of his successor. If Perdium demands excessive compensation, they will be put in an uncomfortable spot. Ghislain told Kair that they need to end their negotiation with reparations. This sounded complicated to the mercenary. He told our boy that they are making things more complicated than it needs to be. He asked Ghislain to tell him why he doesn't just march into the territory and wipe everything out. Belinda felt like Kair made a stupid suggestion. She asked the man if he thinks that a dispute between nobles can be resolved the same way as a fight between mercenaries. Kair was offended by this. He told Belinda that mercenaries and nobles are both humans. He asked her to tell him what makes the nobles better than them. He said that the Dagards were the ones who attacked them first. It didn't make sense to him that they still had to think about the position of their enemy. Ghislain asked the man not to think about it. He told him that what he said is what his father would have done. Belinda became worried when she heard this. She asked her master about what he means. Ghislain smiled and told her that he is different. He said that he will make the Dagard territory his own. The scene shifts and we see Kair and Gazelle raise the Count up by carrying his arms. They kicked the Count's table down. Tamos could not comprehend what was happening. He asked the men to let go of him. The men pushed him down and made him kneel in front of Ghislain. Belinda moved close to her master and gently asked him if he is certain about what he is doing. Our boy told her that he is sure. Belinda asked him to remember that she tried to stop him when his father is questioning him. Tamos told Ghislain that he has sworn his allegiance to the kingdom. He asked our boy if he thinks that he can get away with doing this to the king's subject. He ordered Ghislain to show some respect. Our boy pointed his sword at him. The Count quickly became silent. Ghislain explained to Tamos that he is a traitor who was deceived by the enemy's sweet temptations. He broke their alliance and tried to seize Perdium for himself. Our boy told him that only death awaits those who dares to harm Perdium. The Count became scared. He asked Ghislain to stop playing around. He couldn't believe that our boy was really going to kill him. Ghislain explained to him that he must also risk his life if he pushes countless lives into the battlefield. He told him that he must pay the price that such actions deserve. Tamos began to laugh. He realized that Ghislain was an insane bastard. He was really going to kill him. Our boy raised his sword. Before he could swing it, Tamos asked him to wait. He said that he has a price to pay. He told Ghislain that he will give him the territory. Belinda and Lowell were shocked to hear this. Ghislain simply smiled. He knew that Tamos would do this. He reminded the Count that one must be from the same bloodline or a rightful successor to inherit a territory. Otherwise, they would be against the inheritance law. A domain isn't something that a person can just trade like battering goods. Tamos told our boy that he will handle those issues himself. He asked him not to worry about it. He told him that they will say that he is a distant blood relative. Tamos revealed to Ghislain that he will have his people forge the inheritance rights. He told him that all he has to do is accept it. The Count turned to Lowell and asked him to stop standing around. He ordered him to bring a pen and paper. Ghislain decided to press the Count more. He told him that he is not sure about the arrangement. Tamos told him that he will still pay reparations. He said that he doesn't have money right now, but he can get some by taxing the citizens. He begged Ghislain to give him some time. Tamos begged our boy to spare him. Ghislain asked the man if he really values his life this much. He told him that he will give him a chance. Tamos was happy to hear this. Ghislain dragged his armor. He took the Count outside the castle and threw him to the ground in front of his subjects. The people were surprised to see someone throw their lord to the ground. Tamos turned to Ghislain and asked him about why he put him in front of the peasants. Our boy advised him to watch what he says. He revealed to him that the people get to decide whether he lives or dies. The Count did not know what he meant. Ghislain called out to the people of Dagard and introduced himself as the young lord of Perdium. He announced that their lord declared war against Perdium to avenge his successor and was defeated. He told them that the Count wants to collect reparation from the people. He asked if there is anyone that would like to volunteer. The people were shocked to hear this. The Count took a lot from them in order to start the war, and now he wanted to take more. The people said that the nobles should handle their issues among themselves. Ghislain announced that he will offer them mercy as the deputy lord of Perdium. He told them that he will also give them a choice. Ghislain asked the people if they will save their lord and pay him massive reparation or let him die and have their land absorbed by Perdium. He revealed to them that they won't have to bear the weight of defeat if they do this. Thamos could not believe what he was hearing. He did not expect that Ghislain would insult him in this way. The moment he thought of this, someone threw a rock at his head. Thamos was shocked to see this. Before he could react, more of his citizens threw heavy rocks at him. The citizens picked up pitchforks and stones. They moved close to their lord. One of them told Thamos that he took his mother's keepsake and the bread for his children. The citizens asked him if he knows the amount of people that have suffered because of him. Thamos couldn't respond. The citizens attacked him with their pitchforks and stones. They beat Thamos as if they had forgotten that he was their lord. They didn't give him the chance to beg. The man could only cover his head and scream out in pain. Ghislain walked up to his men and told them that they can go back now. He said that the war is over. He turned to Belinda. He said that he has something to say to his father. Belinda believed that our boy must have a plan to deal with his father. She told him that she is not worried. The scene shifts, and we are taken to Perdium. We see Zwalter and his council looking shocked after finding out that Count de Guard is dead. Zwalter asked his son to repeat himself. Ghislain told his father that the Count is dead again. Zwalter asked his son if he remembers that he asked him to treat the Count with as much respect as the situation allows. Ghislain assured him that he did not forget his words. He explained to his father that he judged that this was the best course of action after seeing the Count for himself. He told him that the Count would have attacked them again if they spared him. Albert and Homern were shocked to hear this. Homern said that this is impossible. Ghislain reminded the men that the de Guard attacked Perdium with an army of over 7,000 men. He told them that this isn't something that the de Guards could do by themselves. Our boy revealed to them that Desmond provided the troops and Rayfold worked behind the scenes. The men couldn't believe what they were hearing. They could not believe that two dominant powers were targeting them. They knew that the Desmond territory is known for maintaining neutrality. They wondered why they supported the de Guards. Ghislain already knew that the reason they didn't receive any aid from their allied territories is because of Amelia. She killed the messengers to cut off the flow of information completely. This isolation tactic has always been her specialty. Once Ghislain takes control of the de Guard territory, the situation will change. The Desmond and Rayfold County would not be able to launch an immediate attack on Perdium because it would now share a border with the de Guard territory. If any of their enemies make a move that is even slightly suspicious, our boy will be able to respond immediately. Zwalter now understood his son's reason for killing Thamos. He reminded his son that the land won't belong to him just because he killed the Lord. He told him that it must be inherited by a blood relative or a rightful heir. Ghislain took out a scroll and placed it on the table. He asked his father to take a look at it. When the Count opened the scroll, he saw that Thamos wrote that Ghislain is a distant blood relative of his, and he is the first successor of the territory. Zwalter could not believe his eyes. Our boy revealed to him that he got it from Count de Guard himself. He assured his father that they can dodge all the issues that comes with inheritance with this document. Zwalter was in disbelief. He put himself together and told his son that ruling over a territory is not an easy task. He asked Ghislain if he can handle it with the manpower he has. Our boy smiled and asked his father not to worry. He said that he has someone fit for the role. The scene shifts, and we are taken to the Austin territory in the Syrian kingdom. We are shown a bar in the territory. We see people screaming inside the bar. They were watching some men gamble. Some of the people were surprised to see that a man with green hair was going all in. The man with green hair used a cup to pick up 4 dice. He shook the cup multiple times. He placed it on the table to show it to his opponent. His opponent was a huge bald man. The bald man had